from Trayvon Martin, I've been trying to figure out like how can we end this? Trying to think about solutions, because you could be angry and you could march, you could protest, and people could hear you, but that don't mean that they're making any changes. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was us looking within ourselves and saying, let's not wait for these people to come and save us. Let's not wait for the Democratic Party. Let's not wait for government. Let's own our politics. Mm-hmm. Black politics. We need to own that. We need to have a platform, an institution that's going to support and breed young black politicians and social leaders that have integrity, not just in the quiet rooms, publicly.
Black music has never been respected by the Grammys to the point that it should be. So right now, this current situation, it's not a revelation. This thing been going on. And it's not just going on in music, it's going on in film, it's going on in sports, it's going on around the world. And for years, we've allowed institutions that have never had our best interests at heart to judge us. And that stops right now. I'm officially starting the clock. Y'all got 365 days to get this together. First of all, corporate America is made and built for white men. So when you're going into corporate America, usually your entryway is to help them with their diversity problem.
Stampede family. Now, come on, y'all. Come on now. Everybody who was in Diddy's circle has been saying in the news that Diddy has been doing what he been doing for years. Years. These victims was kids, and now they adults. That's how long he was getting away with this madness. So why now? What changed? Who coffee did he piss in and then splash it in their face? Inquiring minds want to know. As y'all seen in the intro, he was going after the heavy hitters. So like I said, who did he piss off? Who did it to him? All I could say is watch the video to the end. Watch it to the end, people. Y'all gonna find out some mess. Diddy was doing it to him in the industry. I ain't know this, but he was doing it to him.
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get! Yes! What's next? What's next? I gotta get it. I'm not gonna stay fucking down. I'm not gonna stay fucking lying down. I'm not. I can't do it, man. I can't do that. What's next? Give me something else. What can't you do? I can do it. I can do anything.
I ask you, who this on that nag? I'll snatch your black ass off that nag down here in the mud so fast, make your head.
Steven.
So y'all watch this video to the end, and y'all definitely walk away with a better understanding of why Diddy got knocked off his high horse.
Thank you. I want to. Can I circle back to something though? Because I want to make sure I give you the true answer. So he's talking about levels, and I kind of just got it right now. Even though the levels in the marathon, it goes together. But there's a level that you get to, and you're successful, and you get to the point of being successful. And as a black person, there's this thing that kicks in. There's this jealousy that kicks in. There's this fear that kicks in. Then they start to burn things down. Then they start to take the money out the Freedom Bank. Then they go back on the 40 acres and a mule. Then we don't deserve our worth. So even Hov, Jay, none of us are immune to it. He had to sue Bacardi to get his worth. Like they make us at the next level. You think that you've overcome everything. Oh, I finally made it. And then there's a whole nother army up there that is there to try to push you down the hill. And that's why from being at the mountaintop, I could come back down and tell y'all the only way out of this is if we can unify and combine our forces, because what's waiting for you up there.
Y'all see that? Yeah, got that man choking up.
Yo, that's pretty insightful. That's actually ill.
So y'all see that? Literally, we see him warning a packed house of entrepreneurs that there's people who exist to put barriers in your way as you climb the ladder to success. But even if you make it to the very top, there's another group of people, an army of them, what he said, that's at the top of that ladder, the worst of the worst, and they're there for the sole purpose of pushing you back down the damn ladder. I'm going to tell you right now, racism is real. And these racists is willing to tear a whole country down just for the sake of it. Literally. It's as crazy as a flower that doesn't like its roots. So what does it do? It literally attacks the roots. Now y'all already know with a little bit of imagination what's going to happen. And you'll see this happening in real time. But that flower so obsessed with the hatred it has for the roots that it can't see what's going on around it. And that's the reality. At the end of the day, we all Americans. And as Americans, we need to be working together and not apart. Leave y'all opinion in the comment section.
And right now, the internet and the way things work, you can read something about somebody and think it's the truth. And so it's easy to villainize somebody. But I'm comfortable with my receipts, and I know my purpose, and I know that I'm sent here on God's mission. So knowing that, I don't even really go into the comments and do that to myself, you know? I hear different things that are negative, you hear things that are positive, you know, and that's life. I gotta just stay focused.
But is it because you want to inspire the people around you to have the same energy? Or is it something that's just as natural to you? It's like, you know what, I'm a hustler. If you're not a hustler, get from around me.
I feel like I'm playing for a team, you know, and the team I'm playing for is us. And so when I'm going in with that intensity, everything that I do that I'm breaking down, I'm like, yeah, somebody else could come behind me after I was able to break this down. I just see this hole in the wall. I'm like, come on in, y'all. And so y'all remember that video when I was like, I'm a savage. I'm a savage. I'm a savage. Whatever I want, I get. Whatever I want, I get. Yeah. And that was the change of the tone. And so when I'm talking to y'all today, tonight, move on. Yeah. So that energy is the energy that you need to have. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had to switch up my tone. Because when you are working with corporate America, you trying to, you know, just make sure everything is smooth, nothing's rattled, everybody keeps their jobs. And I had to change the tone. I realized that nobody was going to give me what I wanted. So even being on that phone, I was taking what was mine. So it's that energy that you have to go beyond just dreaming about it, beyond talking about it, writing it in your journal. You have to get your ass up and go take that. Take what's yours. And I'm not talking about steal from anybody. Don't steal from nobody.
Not that way.
But it's your dreams. You got to manifest it, and you got to take it with that intense energy.
So as far as, I believe there's like 13 black billionaires in America. You're one of them. It's almost an impossible feat to accomplish.
Wait, hold on, wait. There's no claps for that? That should be standing to your feet. It's a black billionaire. You kidding me? Everybody should be up. That's crazy. You know where he's from? New York.
Yo, we can never normalize being a billionaire.
Not an everyday thing, man.
By the way, we know almost all of them.
Yeah.
Also true.
That's a fact. We'll have another one tomorrow. That's a fact. Finesses
Two
only.
claps.
Yeah.
I wanna be careful with that, y'all. When they talk about us having money and y'all look at us, it's truly an illusion of inclusion.
We'll talk
Like
about that.
I can't play a part of the illusion of inclusion. So you looking here at me like I'm totally included. No, I'm fighting for the same thing I was fighting for when I got into the game, but it's at another level. And so it's very important to understand this is the truth. Out of all the billionaires in the world got almost 9 billion people in it. There's only 16 black billionaires. So that's the illusion. So every time, it feels good for one of us to get in, two to get in, but we got to stop taking the crumbs. It's time for way more of us out of 9 billion. I want 2 billion to be billionaires. I don't want nothing less for myself or my people.
The man said that out of 9 billion people on the planet, he wants to see at least 2 billion black billionaires. Y'all heard him. All right, Stampede family. I'm about to get off track for a minute. These are all adults at this white party in this picture. Y'all see him. It's all adults. But can somebody tell me, who is this little boy? Who is this little boy? Inquiring minds want to know. A whole party of adults and this little boy wandering around in the party. Just a question. Who is he? Anyway, let's continue.
That we own our politics. And so I'm launching one of the boldest movements that I've ever launched. And it's called Our Black Party.
Okay.
It's time for us to have our own black political party, unapologetically. Because right now, if you look at the debates, we're not even a part of the conversation.
Not at all.
We're not a part of the conversation. We don't have any political power. We don't have any political leverage. And so we started Our Black Party with some young, fearless black activists, elected officials, and I've stepped up and put the money behind it. This is the biggest threat and the only option that we have right now as far as making a change, taking our own self-responsibility and accountability to be educated and empowered with our vote.
So what's the goal for our Black Party?
Our Black Party's number one goal is to unify behind a black agenda. That's it. You could be a part of the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, you could be an independent, but if you black, you wasn't born Republican, you wasn't born Democrat, you wasn't born independent, you was born black. And we have to seize our political power because it'll just be more the same, being pushed this way, being pushed that way, and we expecting
a different result.
But the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing over and over the same way, expecting a different result, and it's not gonna happen. So we have to change the tone. We gotta start with us stepping up and really taking the responsibility and accountability to be a part of this political movement.
The hardest part of that is gonna be getting other black people to buy into it.
This is not for all black people. You know what I'm saying? This is not for the scary ones. This is for the ones that wanna move things forward and wanna get to the smoke. A black person spends an average of like 5 hours on Instagram a day. If you could give Instagram that time, 15 minutes you could give to educating yourself. And Our Black Party's that platform. So when we get down to the local elections, when we get down to the school board, we get down to the judges and the justices, that's so confusing for us. We've never played this game. This is another level of gangster. But I played this game before, you know? I started in 2004 when Voter died, and this is the evolution of that thought, of that empowerment, of that independence, of us taking self-accountability so we're not caught with our pants down like this election. Right now, we're not gonna get nothing. We caught with our pants down. We're not organized, we're not ready to really take this on.
Hold up, let me ask you, what's the difference between Voter died Diddy and Hold Your Vote Diddy? And what occurred between those two phases that made the change happen?
I went through the experience of politics. I played the game with the Democratic Party. The people that I went and campaigned for, after they got elected, I don't feel like they really did anything to change the reality of black people. Like I was blessed enough to find God come to me and tell me my purpose. And he told me my purpose is to play a part in saving the black race. The Voter died Diddy was about politics and, trying to be supportive. And also, they kind of guilt us in the votings, But as I evolved, I realized this is a business. This is a transaction. This is the closest thing to the streets than the streets that I've seen.
That's why I don't think there's nothing wrong with asking these politicians for something for your vote.
Yeah, you can't keep on giving your power away for free. This is black insanity. We keep on doing the same thing over and over, the same way, expecting a different result. Now we in a trick bag, as my mother would say. You know what I'm saying?
Explain that.
That's old Harlem hustler lingo, is when you're in a situation you're like in a catch-22. Between COVID hitting us and because we weren't organized for this election, we have no choice now to get Trump out of there.
What the f? I got a bad feeling about this.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Come on, Diddy. Come on now, Diddy. You definitely knew how Trump moved out in these streets. Yeah, you might be a billionaire, but he is too. And he got the power of the whole government to rain down on your head. Did y'all know Diddy was out here politicking like that in these streets? Question is, was he like your average rich person, all talk and no action? Or was he using his billions for the people? In other words, was he putting his money where his mouth is? Let's find out.
Attention parents, if you don't know now, you know. This year I opened up my own school, my own charter school, Capital Prep Harlem.
We're not looking to be a school. We're looking to create a movement in education that allows educators to add value and children to see their worth within the community.
Now, if you don't know about Capital Prep has an international reputation of graduating 100% of its students to go on to 4-year colleges.
Our deadline for families applying for the 2017-2018 school year is April 1st. You can find us at www.capitalprepharlem.org.
Well, there's your receipts, people. There they go. But hold on. Here's another receipt.
So it was a dream of mine, from Minnesink and then running the marathon, to come back to my neighborhood and open up a school in Harlem. And then once that was successful, we were like, we can't stop there. We got to take it to the boogie down Bronx. Yeah, so that's what's up. It was just always a dream of mine to come and be able to touch my community and a way of education and building leaders.
Thank you. I started out just like you guys. I used to have to wear a uniform every day, had to get up early in the morning, had to travel to go to school, and I worked hard, just like you guys are working.
Y'all hear that? Nah, I'm asking y'all, did y'all hear that? The man opened not one, but 2 schools. Meanwhile, people out here waiting for Dr. Umar Johnson to open his first school. With all that funding he received from the black communities, where the school at, huh? Where it at? Inquiring minds want to know. Dr. Umar Johnson, where's that? Let me just put this out there too. When Diddy caught them charges, he cut himself completely off from them schools. Them schools ain't got nothing to do with what he got going on. Y'all need to take advantage of them schools, get your kids in there, get your educations, and get on out there and be great. That's what he did. So don't let his negativity ruin the positivity in the community. Don't do it. I know I watched the 50 Cent documentary he put out on Netflix, and all them artists was saying how they was getting robbed by him. I wonder if he took their money and was putting it into bigger things like this, because he knew they wasn't going to do it. I mean, it ain't right if that's what he did, but if he didn't do it, who was going to do it? Who was going to do it? Was they going to take their money and do it? Nah. But like I said, that's one of them gray areas. It's one of them gray areas. Did he fall on his sword? Does the good outweigh the bad? Tell me what y'all think about it in the comment section. Anyway, let's keep it moving.
Categories. What's your vision for that, Empower Global?
I'm a solutions-based person. I don't want to just come and reiterate the problems that we already know is going on. So when I'm using my creativity and I'm focused, first of all, one of the things that being successful and having money, people kind of get your purpose messed up. They get it fucked up, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? They don't really know what cloth you cut from, because once they see you getting money, it turns into something else. But from day one, for me, my purpose was always to make sure that I was working to make life better for my people. So as I looked at where we're supposed to be as a people, in 2053, they said we're going to have zero net wealth as a people. So I didn't want to sit there and complain about it. I'm like, what do we have to do? What do we have to do? And I remember Tulsa. And I was like, Tulsa, Black Wall Street, Black Main Street. And I was like, I'm standing on the shoulders of my ancestors right now. I said, I have the mind and creativity to make a global marketplace, to make the new Black Amazon where we can see ourselves circulating our dollars. I don't want to ask nobody for shit. I'm going. It's Empowered Global. It's a solution, and it puts accountability back on us. We cannot leave this room and not have the accountability to do better, because it's ridiculous that out of $1.8 trillion, we only love ourselves 2%. And so Empowered Global was created for entrepreneurs of color all around the world and the whole diaspora to be able to tap in, to be able to support each other. And so that right there is the mission. That's one of the parts of the solution. And I want everybody to go visit Empowered Global, but not just visit, shop there and know the purpose and the cause is to provide a solution. If not, we're just going to be talking about it. So my whole thing is, let's get to the solution. And that's what Empowered Global is.
So let's talk about.
And they burn Tulsa down. They can't burn this down, though.
And as y'all can see, yep, they sure didn't burn it down. They just took a different approach and shut him down. Snatched the door off your closet and let all the skeletons fall out. A whole damn graveyard fell out of that motherfucker. That's another whole video. But right now, I'm just going to stick to the script. So let's continue. Not only did he start his schools, he also started a television network to tell a vision, his vision. The network's name was Revolt.
Media is the most powerful industry in the world. If you don't control your narrative, somebody else will control it. I built Revolt not just as a platform to follow in the footsteps of BET, which I want to just give a shout out to Bob Johnson, Kathy Hughes from Radio 1, all of the Byron Allen. And to me, it was so important that we had our own Black free press. I feel information is so valuable and so crucial. So it wasn't like I wanted Revolt to come out and we do a bunch of reality shows. I wanted Revolt to be a base, a foundation of information that people of other colors have the luxury to have. When you watch CNN, they don't talk about us. They don't talk about our problems. We can't relate to that. Even MSNBC, they talk about it a little bit more. Fox, we can't relate to it. So with Revolt, I had to look at the fact that we did not, as a people, have a free press. That means you have no voice. You can't say what you want to say. Them cats on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, they can't say what they really want to say. At Revolt, you can say what you really want to say, and that's freedom. And so that's why it was important for me to go and really, really invest in Black media, to be a leader in Black media, but still there lies the problem. Black media only gets 1% of advertising dollars. They feel like they negotiated with us and said, okay, we'll give you 2%. And so it's this constant struggle of whether it was, you know, when I was doing Sean John or Revolt as somebody having me, I'm knowing I'm getting into these situations and there are going to be these obstacles, but I want the smoke, you know. John Lewis said, good trouble, you know, get into good trouble. And that's what Revolt is really about. It's about shaking it up and giving the voices a platform.
But talk about that though, because that's something that, once again, the average person is not even thinking about, but we see it as a media company where advertising dollars, right? And that's really how a media company is able to survive. Yeah. So the challenges of having to, you know, convince companies and getting less than you know that you should get, and you know, different corporate initiatives, they say that they're going to give money and they don't give money. Like, these are things that's very critical because it's hard to survive as a media company for free, a free media company, if you're not getting revenue from ads.
Yeah, without a doubt. First of all, they are buying Black media to market to y'all, but they're not buying it from the actual Black media platforms or companies. If we don't have the resources, then we don't have the ability to compete. The money that you make, you put into your programming, you invest in your talent, you invest in your marketing. So it's like it's a struggle for Black media companies. But it's an unnecessary struggle because we have the power to do anything we want to do. We run the world, we run the culture, but we have to understand how it works. If they're only giving us 1% and there's $100, what you gonna do with $1? And everybody else got $50, $40, and you only have $1. And so that's putting it in layman's terms. But it's such an importance to have Black media, to have that representation. And so the fight continues. A lot of the stuff they said from, you know, George Floyd and trying to keep everything calm, they haven't done those things. And so the beauty about it is that we're seeing what time it is. Today is the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington. And 60 years later, things haven't changed because we have to change them. We have to change the tone. And the only tone is through love, through unity. If we don't love ourselves and really get past that part of us in this room, forget all the statistics, everybody else that's out there, but us in this room unifying and being accountable, pulling money together, pulling resources together. If we don't do it, we're doomed. You know what I'm saying? And the time is now, and we could do it. We have one of the most powerful entrepreneur generations in the history of our communities. Look at all these people out here. We want the information.
Right.
People want to be able to be successful. So we at least have that appetite, but we got to put the love in it for ourselves to recognize that we're not getting what we're supposed to get, and that we have to fight for it.
So once again, did Diddy feel that the only way black people was going to have a media platform where their voices could be heard is to rob Peter to pay Paul? Did he feel the only way he could open a school, pardon me, my bad, I meant 2 schools, where 100% of his students would be able to graduate and be able to go to 4-year colleges? Is this the reason he felt it necessary to rob Peter to pay Paul? Or did he feel the only way he could fund the beginnings of a black political party was to rob Peter to pay Paul? Do y'all think the only way he felt he could start Empowered Global, a company that bought all black businesses from all around the world, anywhere in the world, the only way he could bring them together was to rob Peter to pay Paul? Whatever the reason was, he damn sure enough gave the community gifts that keep on giving.
The situation's in the courts now, so I'm gonna share with y'all what I can. This is all public record. But basically, I was called to have a meeting with Diageo, and they knew that I was kind of killing things in the culture, and they were trying to fix their diversity problem. And through that, a meeting was set up, and I told them, you know, I want to be an owner, that I have these ideas from promoting parties at Howard, just remembering that I would always get the door and never get the bar. And so I said I have aspirations to have black-owned brands owned by black people behind the bar and a part of your organization. They're the biggest distributor of spirits in the world, biggest maker of spirits in the world. So we get a test project. I'm looking at their portfolio, and they say we could start something from scratch. But I'm looking at their portfolio, and I remember one night I was having a great time with Ciroc. I had some Ciroc. It was made by grapes, and I remember, you know, having just such the greatest time. And so the light bulb went off in my head. I said, I don't want to wait and develop nothing. Let me show you what I could do with Ciroc. Let me show you how I could turn your revenue around. They were losing $40 million a year. And I went and turned it around and took it to 2.6 million cases from 40,000 cases.
What? What the fuck?
Okay, and so this is something that's never been done.
Clap it up for that.
And so 15 years later, even though I had that success, I was always fighting for Ciroc not to be pigeonholed. Not to be pigeonholed as a black brand, not to be pigeonholed as an urban brand. I already went through that. I went through that with Sean John. They put me in the urban section. I had to go and disrupt the fashion industry, pull up on Fashion Week, and show them what that black excellence swag is about. And that's what we did with Sean John. And so with Ciroc, it was the same thing, get into the spirits industry. No matter what industry I went into, I always came up against this ceiling that they just wanted to keep me in the colored section. I would say for businesses, you have white-only business, just like you have white-only bathrooms back in the days, and you have black-only business. And so my fight is to always make sure that we could just do business. I want to be treated equally like anybody else. And so that's what the fight is about. And it's not me just fighting for me, I'm fighting for us. Because whatever bar I set, y'all have to come behind me on that bar, and I want to make sure that it's right. So that's what the fight is about, simply put. And the last things, to make it clear, was with Deleon. I still own Deleon, okay? So with Deleon, I sent my people.
Before you tell the story about that, just talk about the process of getting Deleon, right? Because it was you proved yourself with Ciroc, and so now there's an opportunity to create something else.
With a lot of, first of all, corporate America is made and built for white men. So when you're going into corporate America, usually your entryway is to help them with their diversity problem. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to open up doors. Sometimes you got to take that opportunity and get in. And so that's what I did with Ciroc. But I told them I don't work for nobody. Everything in my portfolio I own. So you guys have to know my ultimate dream is a tequila. Since I was a kid, I remember drinking tequila or being afraid to drink tequila at first. Since not a kid, a teenager.
Correction, please.
I mean, I was over 21.
Yeah. He was 21 at Howard, I remember it.
Yeah, but tequila used to have a worm in it. That's how dangerous they used to like market it. But I was like, I really love tequila. And this was before the whole tequila craze. So it's like you make a deal. You make a deal like, I'm gonna advance this for you so then we could be good partners and you could give me what I want, which is my opportunity for me to own my brand and to be able to build generational wealth for my kids and my people. And I just need the same 24 hours as y'all giving everybody else in your portfolio. And I couldn't get that. I had to send my people down to Mexico. And this is just to tell you what the fight is about. They went down to Mexico. And when they got down there, they found out that there was 0 agave planted for Deleon. So there was no plan for us to be successful. There was no equal treatment. The other brands, they had agave planted. They had no agave planted for me. And sometimes you have to go check even your partners to see what's really going on. And so when I saw that, I was like, nah, I'm gonna fight because it's bigger than me. It's about not just me, it's about we, it's about all of us. So I chose my purpose over profit. And that's the whole Deleon situation.
Yeah, you brought up distribution. Yeah, clap it up for that.
One of the things I've been blessed to see is having 30 years in corporate America with partnerships. And we have to come to the reality that nobody is coming to save us. No one is coming to save us. Out of all the business revenue in America, only 1% goes to black businesses. But then there's an accountability from us because we have a $1.8 trillion buying power and only 2% of that we circulate in our own communities. So we can't complain. We know what it is. It's time to change the tone. We have to unify our dollars, else nothing will change. We have to weaponize the almighty black dollar to save us. Because we can't have these festivals and conventions, but then we leave here and we don't understand the power of our $1.8 trillion spending power that we only give 2% to ourselves.
We only give 2% to the black community. Gots to be more careful. Me personally, I didn't even know Diddy was out here in them streets getting black business owners amped up to take on to the next level. I ain't know that. I didn't even know about the schools until I looked into Diddy's background. Shame on the mainstream media. Shame on y'all. Y'all splashed that man's face all over the news when he got hit with them RICO charges. Where was that same energy when he was doing all this? All we got from y'all was crickets. Stampede family, I'm telling y'all now. What's coming up next? I believe this was the cake topper.
We are a family, I have to be honest. You know, for the last 2 days, I've been conflicted. You know, I'm being honored by the industry that I love, the family that I love, but there's an elephant in the room, and it's not just about the Grammys. There's discrimination and injustice everywhere at an all-time high. But there's something I need to say to the Grammys. And I changed my middle name to Love, so it's Sean Love Combs now. You don't have to call me a different name. It's an added on name if you want to call me Love. So I say this with love to the Grammys, because you really need to know this. Every year, y'all be killing us, man. Man, I'm talking about the pain. I'm speaking for all the artists here, the producers, the executives, the amount of time that it takes to make these records, to pour your heart out into it, and you just want an even playing field. In the great words of Erykah Badu, we are artists and we are sensitive about our We are passionate. For most of us, this is all we got. This is our only hope. Truth be told, hip-hop has never been respected by the Grammys. Black music has never been respected by the Grammys to the point that it should be. So right now, this current situation, it's not a revelation. This thing been going on. And it's not just going on in music, it's going on in film, it's going on in sports, it's going on around the world. And for years, we've allowed institutions that have never had our best interests at heart to judge us. And that stops right now. I'm officially starting the clock. Y'all got 365 days to get this together. We need the artists to take back the control. We need transparency. We need diversity. This is the room that has the power to make the change that needs to be made. They have to make the changes for us. They're a nonprofit organization that is supposed to protect the welfare of the musical community. That's what it says on the mission statement. That's the truth. They work for us. We have the power. We decide what's hot. If we don't go, nobody goes. If we don't support, nobody supports. We control what's cool. We control what's hot. We control what your kids listen to, what they dance to. We control what's in video games. We control how they wear their pants, sag their pants. We control everything. Now, we're not going to solve this tonight, but it's going to take all of us to get this done. It's going to take the artists and executives to recognize their power. And I'm standing here today not to just bash y'all, because, as I said, y'all a nonprofit organization. We just need to get it right. And I'm here for the artists. So sign me up. I'm here to help make a difference and help us have a positive outcome. And I believe all my brothers and sisters out there would be willing to work on getting this right. Because we just want it right. We just want to be able to go to the Grammys. You got to understand, we seen Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was holding 8 Grammys. He was dropping the Grammys. But you know why he was dropping the Grammys? Why he got 8 Grammys? Because they never nominated him for Off the Wall. And so Thriller was his revenge. It wasn't his honest work. It was his revenge. He was like, y'all want to f with me? I'm going to take your souls. And then we had Thriller. My goal used to be about making hit records. Now it's about ensuring that the culture moves forward. My culture, our culture, the black culture. And for me to be worthy of receiving an Icon Award, I have to use my experience to help make a change. And on that note, I'm finishing up. Y'all got 365 days. And I want to dedicate this award to Michael Jackson for Off the Wall, Prince for 1999, Beyonce for Lemonade, Missy Elliott for The Real World, Snoop Dogg for Doggy Style, Kanye West for Graduation, and Nas for Illmatic. I love y'all.
Yep, y'all heard the man. Told them people they got 365 days and they on a countdown. So Stampede family, what's y'all take on it? Would Diddy still be out here in the streets if he wasn't out here spending his $1 billion fighting to uplift African Americans? Do y'all think that's what landed him in jail? Is this the reason why black billionaires like Michael Jordan and Oprah Winfrey keep their billions of dollars in the bank and not invest in the programs like Diddy did? Speak your piece in the comment section. If you made it this far to the end of this video, your support of the video is greatly appreciated. And on that note, I'm gonna give y'all 5 seconds to put your fingerprint on that like button. Subscribe if you want to stampede with the Stampede family. And y'all hit that notification button so you can get a notification of the next Stampede gathering. Always remember, we moving forward, never backwards, never.